Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We are on 60th Gyaneshwari, chapter 18, verse number 60, and the previous verse we saw Yadahankaram ashritya na yotse iti manyase mithyaisha vyavasayaste prakrutistvam niyokshati. If resorting to egoism you think that you will not fight, vain is this resolve of yours, because your nature will constrain you to fight. This is what we were talking about last week. What Lord is telling here is, there is some inner push. You may not want to eat food. You may not want to eat food, but hunger comes and eventually you run towards the kitchen. So you may not want to, I will not travel anywhere now. Why? Now in COVID, I have become very comfortable in my room. It is my cave. I am meditating there, taking classes on Zoom. I don't know. But nature, there is Sudarshan Chakra under our feet. Zoom. The moment COVID opens, we are on our way. Go to India, go to Sydney, go here, go there, go to Bhikshas. So, that is Swabhav. And last week I was explaining to you what is your natural state and what is your Swabhav. Swa plus Bhav. You are who? Swa. Swa means you are the self, pure consciousness. And Bhava is where? Bhava is in the mind. And what is in the mind? All your memories, all your convictions, all your thoughts. And when they are coloring the self, when they are covering the self, just like if I wear blue glasses on the eyes, I'll see the blue world. If I say, no, I don't, I want to see clear world. But the moment I wear the glass, I can't see the world without glasses. I can't see the world without glasses, but the moment I put the glasses on, whatever I may want to do, I will see only the blue world. Because the nature of what I am, of the equipment is that. So self-identified with equipment, the self, here we are not talking about only this physical equipment, about memories, about convictions. And that becomes, in technical terms, it is called vasanas. Those vasanas are again subconscious impressions and surface impressions. All of them go on to determine your empirical nature. That's why each one of us is different. And last week we saw that Arjuna is a true blue warrior from time of birth itself. He has been trained. He knows only one thing: how to be a great warrior. How to win wars is his profession. A teacher is always a teacher. At home also she teaches the husband. They can't talk in any other way. The way they speak in the school, they keep speaking in the same way with everyone in their life. And that brings a problem. That is their swabhava. That is that empirical nature, or more than empirical, their individual nature. Individual. Self is infinite. It cannot have any nature. It is infinite. See? It does not have any attributes. It does not have any qualities. The self does not have any qualities. Then who has the qualities? So you say the self is Satchidanand Swarup, self is infinite, self-luminous, self-knowing, all-pervasive. Are these not the attributes of the reality? We may use these words, but you can't see anything. You can't pinpoint anything because these are just indicators, but self is all this and not also all this, because no word can stick to the self. So these are not. But when self is expressing as an individual, it has fallen down as if, then this consciousness which seems to be the owner of this body, only when it is the owner of this panchakoshas, it gathers a nature based upon whatever is the cause, whatever is the impetus because of which these 5 sheaths have come to that particular individual consciousness. So we see, even as a young child, that child has got no memories, but it has a particular nature. That Beethoven, when he was young, only 6-7 years old, he was already composing. From where did that come from? He did not go to any teacher, he did not learn the language, but from where did it come from? It came. It was inherent within him. Inherent from where? From past lives. See? Exactly the same way, if we are all attracted to Vedanta and spirituality, it is inherent within you. And somewhere you must have decided, you will say, oh, why we were not interested in it when we used to send our children to the classes. Why? Because you must have had some conviction within that I have to do my duties, I have to live my life, I have to carry out my responsibilities, and when all this is over, then I'll jump into this. Somewhere unknowingly, knowingly, maybe in this life, maybe in past life, you have programmed yourself. So it is very important, even though we are realized, if we don't realize in this lifetime, be very clear what you want in your next life. Are we going to continue in the same pattern, the way it has unfolded in this life? Or do we want to have it in some different format? Do we want to struggle our whole life and then come to the conclusion and then say, oh, I think I should have, why did it not happen to us earlier? Many people say that. Why did it not happen when we were young? Why did it not happen when I was in my youth? See? And it is not there's nothing, we are not talking about being in a family way or being a sannyasi way. It can click to anyone. But why did it not click? Why this interest now, not when we were young? And every young person has that interest, but then the world takes over. And that's what we saw in Kathopanishad also, and here also. That when we are focused on the world, our conclusions are wrong of life. Our desires are about the world. And that's what was told in Kathopanishad also yesterday, that when our attention is on the infinite spirit, when our attention is on the source, our attention is on the Hiranyagarbha, our attention is on the Atma, that is the only way to withdraw our attention from the world. But who will put the attention on the Atma? Equipment cannot put the attention on the Atma. You are the Atma. But then now you are thinking that you are the equipment. I am the body, I am the breath, I am the mind, I am the convictions that I am living. Now, this wrong conclusion that we are in, we are unable to undo it because it is so, the connection is so deep, it's seemingly deep. We think I cannot separate, but data shows that you have never been one with it. See the conundrum. Data shows that you can never be with it. You have every night, you drop away the body, you drop away the breath, you drop away the thoughts, you drop away the convictions. Your convictions have never stayed constant throughout your life. Your thoughts have never stayed constantly. Your emotions have never stayed constantly. Your body has never stayed the same constantly. Your breath has never stayed constant. So you have never got, you are thinking you are attached, but you cannot be attached because whatever you are attached to, it's already dead and gone, even at this moment. But the feeling is, I am attached. And where is this feeling? It is a conviction, and that conviction is in the intellect. So this intellect, this is the equipment that we have got. We can't do anything about it, but this is the equipment with which, instead of making this life and this equipment into a impediment in our journey, how do we make it into helpful to us? Body cannot think of the self. Senses cannot think of the self. Mind is is too multi-pointed to think about the self. The only place where you can contemplate on the self is the intellect. This was yesterday's point. So when we think about the point of the correct goal, when we think of the correct goal, then automatically everything starts withdrawing from the mind. If that is and if we do not have the capacity to, in our intellect, to discriminate and contemplate on the goal, if it has not happened yet, then start withdrawing from the world. It is not, nothing is permanent. So start withdrawing from the senses. They are always going outwards, never going inwards. Stop withdrawing. Do something. What do you do something? People take drugs. People take alcohol. People climb mountain after mountain. They do scuba diving. They do hang gliding. They do paragliding. Why? Or sky jump. Why do they do it? Because mind stops. What happens in meditation? Mind stops. You can do it free. You don't need to spend all that money. All that it is doing is making your mind stop, and the exhilaration and the ecstasy that you get at that moment, that release that is there, that release is the consciousness that you are having no no covering in that moment of surrender. When you jump for sky jump, you have to jump. You have never jumped in your life. See? So where is this Swabhava? When we say the word soul or the Jiva, the one who is residing in this body and is the owner of this body and is functioning through this body, this soul, what is this soul? This soul is consciousness plus all the memories. All those memories, past and present, we can't say future because they haven't come yet. So past and present collectively create this ephemeral entity, phenomenal entity called Jiva. This is what Arjuna is, because he does not recognize who he is. After giving all this knowledge, Lord Krishna is telling him that if out of ego, if you have not yet surrendered and you still think, as he said in the second chapter, that I will not fight. He made this conclusion. First he said, I am surrendered to you, I am your disciple, I am your devotee. And in the next verse he says, I am not going to fight. But tell me what is for my highest good. And after that says, I know you are smiling, you are telling, but I will not fight. So Krishna is bringing that point, because a good teacher is he or she, why we, he or she? Good teacher is that who does not forget the purpose why he is teaching. He is not teaching to make you into a only, that must be an interim step to remind you of your duties, to remind of your citizen duties, to remind you of your, to improve your non-violence, this, that, everything. But eventually, a true teacher wants you to stand on your own 2 feet and realize that you are ever complete. He can't make it happen for you. He can only create that inspiration in you that yes, I am complete at any given moment. See, in spite of all the conditionings, in spite of all the world and relationships and everything. If that is possible, so same thing he is doing. Krishna Bhagavan is saying here, what did he say? He said, if due to ego you think that you will not fight, because that was his statement before, in the 10th verse of the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan Shri Krishna started telling him, because he said, tell me that which is for my highest good. So Bhagwan from the 10th verse onwards started telling him what was for his highest good till 31st verse. But he did not understand what is Atma. He was telling him, you are Atma, you are the infinite. That Atma does not get killed, cannot kill. But he was losing the plot. It was all sixers, not sixers, bouncers. So then Bhagwan had to come, because of his question, he saw the blankness in his eyes. He came down to his level and then made him understand the Karma Yoga, the Dhyana Yoga, the Bhakti Yoga, the Jnana Yoga, all the various way, step by step, systematically, he, just like a bud unfolds itself to become a flower, he has opened up Arjuna. Having opened up Arjuna, yes, he was asking questions also, but now he is saying, if because of ego you are still wishing not to fight, vain is this resolve of yours, because your nature will constrain you to fight. Vain is this resolve. You may decide what you want to do or you don't want to do. Who wants or who doesn't want? Ego. What will happen? That is that which is meant to happen. Where are we saying this? In the 18th chapter. Where are the 18th chapter? We said this even in the 4th chapter also, this point was brought, where it was told, remember the steps. Do not perform the action that you are supposed to, where life has placed you, without expecting results. What happens? Future is fear. The expectation of future is checkmated. Mind becomes half free, 50%, because mind is nothing but past plus future. But you're acting in the present. So most of the time, not most of, all the time, the thoughts that we get in our mind are either of the past or of the future. In the utter present, there cannot be any thoughts. Then what are you doing, sir? I'm telling you from memory. It cannot be anything else. It can be from my experience, it can be from what I have understood, what I have heard, what I have read, what I have been taught. All that amalgamation of all that is coming out right now. See? So first step was perform your duty or act wherever you are placed without expectation. That leads to what? Purification. 50% mind, 50% of thoughts are reduced in your mind gradually. But when that 50% mind expands, when there is more thoughts, more crystallization, less thoughts, less crystallization means the mind is expanding. In that expanded mind, a new information, new knowledge, new attitudes, realizations happen at a relative level. And what is that realization? Arey yaar, action is not important, the attitude behind the action is important. What did we say? A doctor and a thief, a murderer. Both are having knife. Attitude is important. Once the seeker starts putting attention on the attitude, is he giving attention to the action? No. His attention is on the mind. With what motive I am doing whatever I am doing, whatever has to be done. Now suddenly, from what I have to do out there in the world, attention is on whatever I am doing, what is my motive, what is my attitude, what is my disposition. Am I coming from purity or manipulation? Am I coming from, am I conning or am I coming from integrity? See, attitude is very important. And this is equally important every moment of our life. Third step, the attitude leads to realization as we keep refining our attitude, because nobody is born a saint. We keep refining our attitude. In that refinement of the attitude, suddenly because mind is expanding as you are becoming focused on the attitude, single pointedness, suddenly the next realization comes that action and inaction are coexisting. They're coexisting. Why am I only focused on action? Why am I not thinking of only half of the equation? Why not looking at the other side of the equation? In my mind, action is happening, manasa, vacha, kaya, thoughts, speech and body. But you look at the thoughts, there is an appearance of a thought, there is disappearance of a thought. Disappearance of thought means there is no action, no activity. He suddenly becomes aware of it. Here I am telling you, so you are becoming aware, but we don't live like that. But a single pointed mind, when you are living with in utter present, absolutely with awareness and vigilance, then this will automatically demand your attention, or you will become aware of it, that activity and inactivity are both happening at the same time, and they are happening of their own accord. Stupidly I was thinking that I am doing the activity. Stupidly I was thinking that I am doing the activity. Activity is happening, inactivity is also happening. Waking is also happening, dream is also happening, both are activity. Deep sleep is also happening. You can't go to sleep when you want. In deep sleep, you cannot say, now I'm going to wake up now. You cannot. So both are happening. That leads to karma sannyas. That leads to dhyana yoga. Then what is this? Who is this? Who is watching this? Who is making this whole world go? Who is making this whole world go? Then his attention was brought to by our Krishna Bhagavan on he gave that X factor as the Lord, and that Lord I am. In me, the entire world is strung like pearls. And now he whetted the appetite of Arjuna. What is happening to Arjuna with each chapter? his mind is expanding. He's becoming focused. His attention is being he teacher is only speaking, but the student's attention is going on that X factor. Who is this? Who's making all the, what is that? Who is guiding all the activity and inactivity? The whole world is functioning. The waking dream and deep sleep are functioning every day. In whose presence it is happening? Who is making it happen? The attention has not come to the self. Who is making it happen? So when he is still objectively seeking it, it was told the Lord is doing it. And eventually the urge to know that ultimate doer, Karta Purukha, that ultimate doer, it became so intense that he could not stop. In 10th, 9th and 10th chapters, Bhagavan gives him the various places where he is available specifically. Among the mountains, I am the Himalayas. Among the rivers, I am the Ganga. Among the trees, I am the Ashwatha. Among the humans, I am Arjuna. And so on and so forth. He went, and he says, you can keep sitting there, and so wonderfully you are listening to me, and I am also enjoying this. I can, till the end of this creation, I can keep speaking and giving you examples, and you will keep enjoying. Arjuna says. So Arjuna says, is there a way that I can experience all of it in one go? Then came the 11th chapter. What is happening in 11th chapter? A vision was given wherein past, present, future were all happening at the same time. The result of what is going to happen in the war was already presented there in that vision. But it was scary for Arjuna to handle, to digest. If someone told you, someone who knows, Swami, in 7 days time you are going to die. And if I am not prepared for it, what will be the situation? Why I am not prepared? Because I don't trust you, first thing. Whoever has told. Who has told? Doctor has told. I don't trust doctors. Huh? Then what will be my disposition? He may say, or doctor knows that 7 days maximum. He has his professional acumen to come to that conclusion. I am in my own ego. What does he know? I am going to die. No. I could have sorted everything out. I could have put my mind on the Lord. But then, did I? No. And you die an ignorant fellow. And many people, they do trust. And at that time, they do want to shift their attention to the divine. But they are incapable of shifting their attention. Why?
They haven't done all their life.
Because too much water has gone under the bridge. They have lived their life 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, 70 years in the same default mode, and now out of fear, it can happen, no doubt. No, we are not saying it cannot happen. It can happen, but you require that type of urge from inside. So, maybe out of fear, you become attentive of the Lord, and you die. Okay, you die. You take the name of the Lord, and eventually Ram, 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 and you die. Suppose it happens that way. But 70 years, 60 years, you have lived a different type of life. Only last few months, last few years, you have taken the name of the Lord. Guaranteed, next life is going to be a good one because you died with the Lord's name. But when did you take the name of the Lord? In the 60th year. How did you live your 60 years? Extroverted involvement. Introvertedness was only out of fear. Same thing will repeat in the next life. Same thing will happen that way. It may happen a little bit different, but it will begin with extrovertedness. See? Because if you take your extrovertedness was for 60 years and 10 years was your introvertedness, was your 10 years of introvertedness intense enough to neutralize, checkmate the 60 years of extrovertedness? Was it? I'm no one to judge. I'm just calculating, giving you just a scenario in front of you. There are many permutations, combinations there. But if you have not, many people do. They are able to. Excuse me. See? So his mind has expanded, he has seen the past, future in that Virat Purush. He got scared, he came down, he understood that everything is preordained, everything is what is going to happen is going to happen. And there he was not interested in the war, he became interested that how do I get to come to that point? So the qualities were told in the 13th chapter, and after coming to the qualities, the Kshetra Kshetrajna Yoga was told that you are the constant one and not the changing one. Then he was thinking of the constant one, but his mind was not staying on the constant one. Then he says, why is it not staying on the constant one? It was easy to contemplate on your form with the four hands with Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, but when you say that I am the Atma, why am I not able to focus on the Atma? Why am I not able to focus on you continuously for a long period of time? There he said the Daivi Sampatti and the Asurik Sampatti, that good thoughts and bad thoughts, we have to go beyond. Then he, in that lecture, he understood, yeah, I understood that, but still it is not focusing. Then he said Gunatita Yoga, that not only good thoughts and bad thoughts, Daivi and Asurik Sampatti, but there is something called the Gunas, what do you call, the three powers, the purity, the dynamism and inertia. You have to go beyond these three also, because good and bad can be at the individual mind, but at the when we come to the totality, then what we have to go beyond at the totality level to reach the ultimate. What is stopping us is not our good and bad thoughts. Then what is stopping us is the three gunas, the rajasic, the sattvic, rajasic and tamasic. So you have to, the one who has crossed these three, he is called the Gunatit Purusha. All this we have done. Okay, if you can't remember, it's okay. And that's why we are doing, Krishna is giving the synopsis of the whole thing. And now he is bringing him back to that point. I told you that in the fourth chapter. If out of ego, you still think that you will not fight, this conclusion, if you come to this conclusion, it has got no value. Why it has got no value? The war will still be fought. People are still going to be dying. Kauravas still will be defeated. Pandavas will still win. Question is, you want to be a part of it or not? It's preordained. Similarly, so that win is only going to be because of Arjuna it came, but it is going to happen anyway. Nothing is going to change that. Nothing is going to change that. Because who is speaking? Lord himself is speaking. It's not some Tom, Dick and Harry. He was asking me, one astrologer was there in our in our family, and dad used to listen to him only all the time. Everything he did according to his dictate. And that astrologer calculated my horoscope wrong till I was 20 years old. And he's a great devotee of Guru Vayur. Every morning he does the puja, the entire constellation presents in. I asked him one day, how do you know where everything is? He says, every day I do the puja, and by God's, Guru Vayurappa's grace, the whole constellation, the whole solar system, with all the nakshatras and everything, the picture is presented to him, including what position the moon is every day. He doesn't need to calculate. It's a pratyaksha inside his eyes, inside in his mind. And it's always present. That such a person calculates my horoscope wrong for 20 years. Because what was meant to happen was meant to happen. So what is going to happen on the battlefield is going to happen, whether Arjuna takes part in it or doesn't take part in it. Krishna's elder brother, he didn't take part, he went on a pilgrimage. Here a decisive war between righteousness and unrighteousness is taking place, and the elder brother of Krishna, he is going on a pilgrimage. Is this a time to go for pilgrimage? Or is this a time to stay with the righteous and support the righteous and defeat the unrighteous? What is the purpose that Bhagavan has come? What is the purpose that the Lord has taken birth on the earth? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Paritranaya, to support and help the devotees of the divine, the seekers of the divine. Paritranaya sadhunam. Vinashaya cha dushkritam, to destroy the bad people, bad forces. Dharma sanstapana, to re-establish the righteousness. He says, I keep coming again and again. Now this is the purpose Krishna has come. Throughout his life he has been killing the unrighteous people, the Rakshasas. Never ever he has killed any person who is righteous. If he has even an iota of love for the Lord, he is given a way, he is shown a path so that he can become a greater person, a better person. See? Balramji lost the plot. He lost the plot. He became emotional. He was emotional. He became emotional. Oh, both are my family. How can I fight for one side and not the other side? So better I don't fight only. See? Cop out. Arjuna is also another cop out in the second chapter. Beginning of second chapter and first chapter. Krishna Bhagavan is saying, are you still a cop out or have you got a clear picture? Are we a cop out of life? And we surrender to drinks, drugs, sleep, laziness. These are all ways of cop outs. Or are we living life and riding life? Let's see where it takes us. And this we do it with inspiration, with joy. Not out of क्या था वो गाना हम जो गा रहे थे? हाँ, पहेली हाय, कभी सताए, कभी रुलाए. But there it is a bit depressing song because that life is a conundrum and sometimes it troubles us, sometimes it makes us cry. But for me, for us, it should be, if we are riding life, riding life does not mean riding the world. Riding life means you are ever focused on the divine and the life is getting lived. You're not living life. Life is getting lived. This shift in us must come about. And that's what Krishna Bhagavan is checking with Arjuna. Has this shift happened, or are you still on your ego trip that I don't want to fight? Are we still on the ego trip? Life is too difficult. Is recession coming? Are the taxes going up? Are the rates going up? Today, this is the only talk in every house, isn't it? When have they not gone up? When have they gone down in your life? Never. They've never gone down. They've only gone up. So accept it. Laugh about it. This shift in our approach, in our disposition has to come about. And this does not come about by our extroverted approach. It comes about by our introverted approach, not on the mind, not on our personality, but on the infinite reality. When we shift to that, this shift in our attitude, shift in our disposition, it starts taking place, and we start seeing that this whole thing is just a game. This vision is presented by the divine. It is a revelation. It does not come by reading books. Then why are we reading books? Because here it is systematically given. We can keep teaching. And if you are addicted to listening, then it's your fault, not my fault. Or am I addicted to talking? I'm not. I'm not addicted to. I am equally comfortable when I'm not talking. But when the class is there, I enjoy it. If I have to talk, I might as well talk only about this. Why should I talk about anything else? But is this talk making a difference? To whom? Question is this topic of Bhagavad Gita making a difference? Question is, to whom?
Yes.
I'm asking.
Yes.
The individual ego.
To
which
whom?
Is not present.
No, ego can never be affected by it. Because it does not exist. If we are studying this scripture, can it make an impact? Will it bring about any change? Yes and no. No, if we are not available to it, if we are not convinced of it, we are not dedicated to it, if we do not revere it, if we are not subjective about what the words are indicating to us. So here when they say that if out of will you are going to fight or not, and if you choose not to fight, it will be a vain decision, because whatever is meant to happen is going to happen. Have we seen this principle play itself out in our life at this moment? Then we are subjective. Oh, that's important. I will contemplate it after. Now, watch its impact right now. Be subjective about it right now. This is the shift that we are talking about. Not manana. Not a delayed realization. If it happens, it happens. What can? But no, at this moment, don't miss the opportunity to be available to the principle that the Lord is giving through Arjuna is giving it to us. That are we resorting to ego and think that we will not participate in life. Here it says participate in the fight. I am using the word fight. Life. Life is a fight continuously. Whether it is outside or in our mind, it's continuous assessment, negotiation, coming to the right conclusion. Vain is this resolve of yours. What is the vain is this resolve? If you out of ego decide that I am not going to participate in life, what happens to those people who decide not to participate in life? They commit suicide because they have lost the plot completely. They go into little bit less than suicide, they go into deep depression. Little bit less than that, they become obsessive personalities. They become touch me not personalities. They go into drinks and drugs. They become irritable. See, catch this about ourselves. Are we falling in any of these categories? Is our arrow of life moving in that direction, or is it moving in the direction of ha ha hoo for no reason? Silence for no reason, but with joy, not out of depression. So here he says, vain. If in our life, if we have decided not to participate in life, vain is our decision. Bhagwan is telling us. Why? He says, because your nature will constrain you to fight. I don't want to participate in life. But next moment, your children's phone call comes, you have to participate. Next moment, bladder pressure comes, you have to participate. Next moment, hunger comes, you have to participate. Next moment, sleep comes, you have to participate with it. You have to think about it, you have to surrender to it. Life means all this. Waking, dream and deep sleep is your life. You as consciousness or you as I expressing through this body is your life. That is life. And you are saying, I'm not going to. Try. Try. Let's see how long you succeed. So you may decide, I don't want to participate. But your inner swabhav will not allow you to. And what is the swabhav of... see, I get involved. Swabhav of Arjuna is a warrior. Swabhav of this Swami is to be a sannyasi. So by nature, it has become... That's why I went in that direction. I don't want anything in this world. Yes, I don't mind. Today I made a nice falafel sandwich. I made it for everyone. Everyone had it. But if it was not there, it didn't matter. I didn't do it for myself. I did it for others. It happens sometimes. Sometimes you like to have a nice coffee. Not McDonald's coffee. Nice one. Sometimes you want to have a pizza. Sometimes if someone says, not because... Sometimes there is an urge from inside to do that, but you may, it's okay. How many times I'm going to give in to it? But sometimes someone says, then you just go along with it. But if it comes, if it comes to a push, or what do they say? When a shove comes to a push, I'll fall back into my shell. What is that shell? Virakta. Completely dispassionate. I'm not interested. While I'm even functioning in the world, there is an inner disconnect, not a disinterest in everything. But people can't make out that. They think we are fully involved. When Krishna is living in his daily life, he was a superhuman. Everyone thought he is doing this, but inside he says, I'm not doing anything. See, we live 110% with inspiration out there in the world. This is the trick. This must come about. Only he can deliver it. 110% inspiration, living life. Inside, total detachment. If it is there or not there, who cares a hoot? No interest only. Inside. But outside, 100%. Why 100%? Because everything is divine. Everything is divine. Each one has to sort themselves out. And what is that sorting out? Surrender to the Lord, contemplate on the self, and allow this disposition to click in. It's a click. The day it clicks, there's no going back. You cannot go back to be a teenager. You may say, oh, mind is still young, body is getting old. People say that, isn't it? But you can never go back to being the teenager. You can imagine, but in this body, you cannot go back to be a teenager. Similarly, once a young girl becomes a mother, she cannot go back to being a virgin. Not possible. Same way. Once this has clicked, there's no going back to the old way of living. Because it gives you total freedom to involve or not to involve. And yet, you know there is no need to involve because everything is complete. Yet you're out of your nature. You are involving in it. But you are not denying that involvement. You are not complaining about that involvement. You are performing to the best of your ability. That's how you have been wired. And that's what the topic that we saw last week. Already itna time ho gaya. Therefore, this talk of yours that you will not fight is all futile. Even from the worldly point of view, this talk of yours is unacceptable. It is true that you have resolved not to fight, but your inborn warrior's disposition will compel you to fight. If it's a true doctor, it will come if he's taken the profession for the right purpose, with the right intention. Then if a person comes and does not have the money to pay, he will still give the medicine, take care of that person. Just now I told in one of the classes, when I came back from Sydney, on that day itself I had to go to someone's house for their mother had passed away. She was a doctor in Faridabad, outside Delhi. 50 years she worked for money. Once the children were all married, blah, blah, blah. From 50 years till 86 or 87, 37 years, she did not keep one single rupee for herself. Whatever money people gave, she used to distribute it back into the community. And if anyone came that they don't have the money for buying medicines, she will send them with the medicines. And if she comes to know that they don't have a blanket, they don't have a bed to sleep, their children don't have money to go to school, she will sponsor everything. Not one or two or three, hundreds of them. See? Why couldn't she do it before? If this was inherent within her, why did it not take place when she became a doctor? Why she had to wait till 50? Everything happens at the right time. It is His will. Who are we? Get out of the way. Get out of the way. But she did not, even on the last day when she breathed her last, in the morning she went to her clinic, dispensed everything, only half day, came back, sat down on the chair, and she said, my time has come, and she went. This is productive life. This is productive life, where we are adding value to the world by thought, by word, by deed, not being a burden on the world. See? And you don't have to search for how you will contribute to the world. Let Him decide. You be available to Him. He uses you in the right way. The screwdriver has no will of its own. The wielder of the screwdriver, whether to open the screw or to tighten the screw. It's the same way to you, how to use this screwdriver to get things done or not get things done. That let it be His decision. But when we make the decision, a big problem. See? Continuing in the 60th verse, let's read. Swabhavajena kaunteya, Swabhavajena kaunteya, Nibaddhasvena karmana, Nibaddhasvena karmana, Kartum nechasi yan mohat, Kartum nechasi yan mohat, Karishyasya vashopi tata, Karishyasya vashopi tata. Together. Swabhavajena kaunteya, Nibaddhasvena karmana, Kartunechasi yan mohat, Karishyasya vashopi tata. He says in the 60th verse, bound by your sense of duty, born of your own nature, O Arjuna, you will carry out helplessly what through delusion you do not wish to do. Bound by your sense of duty, wherever we are placed in life, wherever, whether I am giving a talk, whether you are listening, whether you are taking care of your partner, whether you are paying for the internet, for the website, whether you are giving things to your staff, whichever way. Here he says, bound by your sense of duty, you feel responsible for that. Right now, you are feeling responsible for your family, you are feeling responsible for your extended family, you are responsible for your staff, you are responsible for your community, your society, state, country, world, whole universe. Depends where your attention is. Bound by your sense of duty. Duty necessarily entails that I have to do something. I have to take care of something or someone. I have to perform. Kartrutva bhav is there. Bound by your sense of duty. So even though I am a sannyasi, I'll only tell my life. Even though I am a sannyasi, but I'm there with the mom. Taking her to the doctors, being with her. I know she cannot live alone. I don't have to be. I don't have to be. But somewhere inside, it must be there. Sannyasi must give that up. That sense, he must go beyond duty. Sannyasi, he has gone beyond that. Yet, the swabhava, the nature, the character, it has pulled me back. I will only take it. This is one, I'm giving you an example. I'll put it another way another time. So it has pulled me back to do the right thing. To do the right thing. See? And that's what makes every human being take care of their children or their parents or their husband or their wife or whatever, wherever their attention is, wherever they feel they have a sense of duty about. Bound to your sense of duty, born of your own nature. See, born of your own nature. What is their nature? We are not talking about the self. Remember, this talk began with self and swa and swabhava. So, what is that bhava? What are your convictions? What are your conclusions about life? Parents are important. See, many people, if you go to Maharashtra, they only want our children, our parents, our morning breakfast poha, in the afternoon pitla and bhat, in the evening chapati roti, dal. In Karnataka you go, it is different. But majority of the people are only me, my family, my food, and that's it. That's their sense of belonging. Their attention is only on that. You were also like that. Then what has made you to come here? To listen to these thoughts? Did you come here to create confusion in your mind? No. Then why have you come? What attracted you to this class or any class, satsang? What attracted you? What was the push from inside which made you Godwards? What was it? Was it something that you had created? Did we all know each other at any time in our life? No. We came across each other. If I tell today only, they were telling me how they came to know me, and how, or we came to know each other, I should say, not me, each other. Each one is a different story. How did I come across my Swami Anubhavanji who taught me the scriptures? Did I know him before? No. You be devoted throughout my life. Did I know that I wanted to be a sannyasi? Never knew that I want to be a sannyasi. Run away from sannyasis. What about take sannyas? Never. But somewhere in each one of us, knowingly or unknowingly, that self is present, and it is ever beckoning us to come back to be the original. It's always calling us back. In sleep, we go back to the self only. We don't know that, that's all. But it's continuously calling us to come back to itself. So what I am saying here is this nature that we are talking about here, we are not talking about the self. Swabhava is not the self. Swabhava is acquired nature, not the original nature. Original nature is Atma, the pure self. Acquired nature is this personality. Swabhava. Some people, as much as they may try, they are sarcastic. Isn't it? Some people, as much as they try not to use the wrong words, but their words are like arrows, they pierce you. Some people, as much as they want to get angry, they can never get angry. I'm not talking about myself, I get angry. At a drop of a pin, I am angry. So we are talking about acquired nature. Whatever we repeat many times, it becomes our habit. Habit becomes our nature afterwards. It goes so deep into our psyche that it becomes a default setting. So we are talking about that swabhava. So here he says, Swabhava Jena Kaunteya. Kaunteya is the Arjuna's name. He is the son of Kunti. His mother's name was Kunti. So Kunti's son is Kaunteya. Why it was not used for any other of the sons? Because he was in the middle. Krishna has given him that. Nibaddha Swena Karmana. So, bound by your sense of duty, born of your own nature, O Arjuna, you will carry out helplessly, without any will, without any decision making, without any conviction or no conviction. Helplessly you will carry out whatever your acquired nature is. It will keep expressing. Yudhishthir and Duryodhan. Yudhishthir is a dharmic person. He is the son of Yama. He is born from the Yama. Whereas Duryodhan is the fetus was cut into 100 pieces. The biggest piece was Duryodhana. See, both of them have studied under the same teacher. Both of them have studied all the scriptures. Both of them know what is right and what is wrong, what is righteous and what is unrighteous. But Duryodhana, he knows what is right, I know, but I am never able to follow it. And Yudhishthir, he knows what is right and wrong. And out of him, always only the good comes out. See, what is your nature? Can we change our nature? Yeah, I don't know if no, not I don't know. You can. You can get out of your nature. Understand, this acquired nature is not you. This acquired nature, who is this acquired nature for? Answer. Who is this acquired nature for? Or whose is this acquired nature?
The individual.
Of the mind, sir.
A mind, yes and no, but be more clear.
Individual ego and
Individual ego. Individual ego. All the habits, obsessions, thought fixations, when we say acquired nature, self is self. But it is latching on to different things. So, I am a sannyasi. How do you know I am a sannyasi? Because I am wearing these clothes. If I say, I am a sannyasi only because of these clothes, so problem, no? That means if I wear pant and shirt, then I am not a sannyasi. Is sannyasi determined by the clothes or it's the attitude? So, are you the self or are you the acquired self? Acquired? Are you the true nature, which is the pure self, or are you the acquired nature, which is the relative self? Relative self, as I said, the individual, the ego. What is the nature of ego? It does not exist, yet it appears. And this fellow has acquired everything. Everything is sticking to this fellow who has said, this body I am, this breath I am, this mind I am, these convictions I am, this past I am, this future I am, these all the everything, emotions I am. Who is saying this? Whoever says that I am all this, his ego only. And who is ego? Which does not exist. This is the acquired nature. And nature is always, the subject is always, by nature the subject is pure. But when it latches on to some object, it starts acquiring. So I latch onto the body, I am the body. I latch onto the breath, I cannot live without breath. I latch onto, I have never smoked in my life, I am a non-smoker. See? Then before he was a single, now he gets married. He latches onto wife. Now what is his definition? I am a husband. He doesn't say I am a Mr. So-and-so. I am her husband. I am his wife. This is how they introduce. Or we are both, we are husband and wife, whatever. So whatever you are latching on to, your convictions, your impressions, they go on to form your core personality. You are doing that involuntarily, you are doing that in this life also. Spirituality is a way by which we undo all this. By undoing all this, through sadhana, through meditation, we come to realize our true nature. When we come to realize our true nature, the swabhava of this equipment will continue to go on the way it is supposed to go on. So we see all realized masters are abiding in the same reality, but each one is expressing differently. Why? Why don't they all behave the same way? Why someone is some Mahatma, Guru Gobind Singh, he's a great realized master, but he's a warrior. But you take Raman Maharishi, he is in one place. You take Ramakrishna, he is dancing. You take Mirabai, she is singing. You take Kabir Das, he is weaving. They haven't stopped their profession. Or, well, Kabir Das has not stopped his profession, he is still continuing. But why every one of them is seen as different when their realization is the same? This is the difference between the true nature and the acquired nature. So now your true nature is slowly coming out when you are interested in all this. But your acquired nature will take you back. Oh, I think this lecture is long now. Has gone too long. Or acquired nature will say, what? Oh, I think he spoke too much today. Or acquired nature will say, it clicked, but it did not click. Doubt is in the acquired nature, not in the true nature. Acquired nature will say, thank God, satsang is only once a week. If it was every day, my God. This is acquired nature. Somewhere you have created that conviction within yourself. And 2-3 times you repeat it, it sticks. Anything, dhyayato vishayan pumsan sangasteshu upajayate. Whatever we think about again and again, we become, what is the word? Attached to it. Attachment means it sticks to you. And that becomes your nature. Laziness is not, nobody is born lazy. It's acquired. I'm not creative. It is not. Every child is creative. I am not creative, it is acquired. See. O Arjuna, you will carry out helplessly what through delusion you do not wish to do. So your decision that you do not want to fight was made under a spell of ignorance. And what was the delusion expressing as? I don't want to kill my teacher. I don't want to kill my grandfather. I don't want to kill my cousins. I don't want to make the women widows. I don't want not to go to hell because I have killed my teachers. Because the result of killing your teacher is to go to hell. All these, they seem to be right conclusions. This is how society speaks to us. Is it not right? That the daughter must listen to the parents? I'm telling you practical, which happened to us. That the daughter should listen to us. If we are bringing the boy, why can't she listen and get married to him? I said, thank God she doesn't listen to you. Why? She wants you to be free. Because if she marries the one who you say she has to marry, and then something untoward happens, are you going to listen to her tanas for the rest of your life? I never thought like this, Swamiji. But is it not our culture that the children should listen to her? What all they get into? In the name of culture, in the name of our background, it is in the name of from where we come from. All this is ego trip. All this is acquired nature. Only ego acquires. True self is ever detached from everything. Gyaneshwari Maharaj says, in next 9 minutes, whatever he says, we will cover. He says, Pai purve vahata pani, pahuize paschimece vahani, tari agrahoci urete ani, apulia lekha. Correct? 83, 84 and 86. का साळीचा कणू म्हणे मी नुगवे साळीपणे तरी आहे आन करणे स्वभावासी तैसा क्षात्रंस्कार सिद्धा प्रकृती घडिलासी प्रबुद्धा आता नोठी म्हणसी हा धांदा परी उठवी जसीची तू पै शौर्य तेज दक्षता एवमादिक पंडुसुता गुण दिधले जन्मता प्रकृती तुझ तरी तयाची या समवाया अनुरूप धनंजया न करिता उगलिया नयेल असो. He says, Gyaneshwari Maharaj is giving commentary on this verse. If a person is bent upon swimming towards the west, when the current is flowing eastwards, the current will surely drag him to the east. If the paddy seed were to say that it will not grow into a paddy plant, will it be able to go against its own nature? If you sow I sowed a mango seed and I forget. I planted chili plants. Is the mango seed going to give me chili plants? Or if mango seed decides, I'm going to trick this fellow, he put me under the earth, let me see, I'll give him chilies. What is its nature? To come out as mango plant. It cannot give anything else. So same way, two examples are given here. One is, if you want to reach east and you are swimming westwards or the other way, whatever he's saying, swimming towards the west. Now you're swimming towards the west and the water is flowing towards the east. Try as much as you may want. You will reach, either you will stay there only if you are strong enough, or it will take you more towards the west. And the second example, if the paddy seed, if the rice seed was to say that I want to become a wheat, so I am an individual. If I say that I want to be the infinite, am I making a mistake? Some people argue like this. If I am a individual and I want to be infinite, am I talking the same language as the paddy seed? That I want to be a wheat seed, I want to be a wheat, not a paddy? Why?
It doesn't recognize that it's a seed. They're both seeds.
No.
Yes,
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 it
yes,
is.
yes.
Huh?
Yeah. So equally, a person who recognizes that they are more than an individual.
Good. Because here we are not talking about acquired nature. We are talking about, in our case, we are talking about the infinite nature, the true nature. So, when we say I am a man, it is acquired nature. If I say I am a woman, it is acquired nature. I was born, acquired nature. I am going to die, acquired nature. Who are we essentially? Are we man, woman, five sheets, father, mother, daughter, sister, past, future, waker, dreamer, sleeper? None. We are essentially the infinite spirit. And whatever we think ourselves to be is only acquired nature. Okay? See, therefore, in Upanishads, they even say that if a murderer comes to realize and after realization commits murder, he has no guilt. If after realization, for whatever reason, Guru Gobind Singh, he killed so many people, the Muslims were invading, did he feel the guilt? No, there's no guilt. You're free. Krishna, Arjuna is going to kill so many people. After hearing Gita, he is going to kill so many people. He is going to be the cause for his teacher's death. He is going to be the cause for his grandfather's death. The acquired nature will cry. The individual will cry. The individual will lament. Krishna also shed tears when the grandfather died, was fallen. The teacher was fallen. He also shed tears. But he did not lose the plot. Ever remained poised. Because the individuality is expressing whatever it is programmed with. But are you the individual or are you the infinite? Here we are not talking, in this particular verse, we are not talking about the infinite. I am bringing the infinite again and again only to distinguish between the original and the swa and the swabhava. So here he says, what? If the paddy seed were to say that it will not grow into a paddy plant, will it be able to go against its own nature? In the same way, O wise Arjuna, as your innate nature belongs to the warrior tradition, how can you say that you will not rise to fight? A sadhu, even if he is someone else insults him, he doesn't take it as a what is the word?
Personal attack.
Personal,
Attack.
personal attack. It doesn't take that insult because there is no one to own it that I am insulted. His nature is to forgive. Sadhu's nature is to forgive and forget. He continues. So one sadhu was going and one scorpion came and he bit him. And someone came, "Arey, sadhu is bitten." He says, and the sadhu said, "Okay, drink and now go." He left him alone. "Why didn't you kill him?" "No, he's doing what his nature is telling him, to bite and give poison. Why should I copy him? My nature is to forgive and forget. So I'll live up to my nature. Let him live up to his nature." What is your nature? What is our nature? Are we gossipers? Are we complainers? Are we inspired? Are we a depressed nature? What nature is ours? So we have, now here comes one point. If Arjuna, here he says, "O Arjuna, you will carry out helplessly," sorry, not that one, here. "In the same way, O wise Arjuna, as your innate nature belongs to the warrior's tradition, how can you say that you will not rise to fight?" Similarly, if you have born in your family and your nature is to take care of the family, how will that nature change? It will not change. So realize it will still continue. But now there is no owner who is going to do it. There is no ego which is going to do it. It is in the hands of the divine. But the nature will happen because mind has its own. See? Even if you say so, your nature will compel you to stand up and fight. O Arjuna, where are we? O Arjuna, your warrior nature has bestowed upon you bravery, indomitable spirit, mindfulness, and other qualities at the time of your birth. O son of Pandu, this inborn nature will not allow you to sit quiet without performing your duties in conformity with the group of your inherent qualities. It will not allow you to sit quiet. So what is keeping you disturbed? What is keeping you to keep seeking excellence in life? What is keeping you to do your japa, to come to satsangs, to do your chanting, to do your meditations? What is? This is also, as long as it is happening at the empirical level, it's your nature only, no? See? So we may want to escape from life and go to Himalayas. There are enough stories. We may want to escape from home and join an ashram and go and study. But there are enough stories there also that instead of studying, we fell in love and we eloped. We went to Himalayas and we got married because nobody knows us and we live. If we did not get married, we are continuously living in an imaginary world which nobody can see. We have created a family there. We are satisfying our desires there in our imaginations. Where will you escape? We cannot escape. Man wants to escape. What did I say? perform your duties or wherever life has placed you 110% with joy, as a surrender, as a service, as an offering to the divine. Then alone inspiration will come, otherwise it will not come. For ego there is no inspiration. Temporary inspiration. If it is getting what it wants, it's inspired. When it doesn't get what it wants, push, all air goes out. But if it is the Lord's, if your attention is on the Lord and this whole world is considered as God and you're performing, wanting nothing, yet the nature is putting you in that position, recognizing that it is all His will, not my will. Where you have said it is His will, not my will, ego is dissolved. And not only just giving lip service, believing it in your heart and mind. Then interacting with everyone and everything as if they are divine. Not otherwise. When it suits you. When you want something from them, you are divine. When you other times, that get away from here. Anyway, we'll talk about it more in our next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnama Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om.